Go and show them all your rainbow. You feel better when you do.
Welcome to East Coast DNA. I'm your host, Darcy Walsh, and today's guest, we have CJ. So, CJ, I know that you've got quite a extensive, diverse line of things that you do in the entertainment industry too. And maybe some people know you as CJ Norris, or people that know you from way back, maybe under the name Christopher. But you're here today to talk about your debut single of Rainbow, Megan Trainor cover that you recently recorded.
Yes, yeah. My first foray into pop music. I am really excited about it. I heard the song. It's not been a single on her album, but I just heard it when the album came out maybe a year or so ago, and I just really like the lyrics and the message. And I thought this would be a great summer dance track. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I should make my own version of this, and that's what I did.
And so your background, like I said, I did some quick research and saw immediately, I'm like, oh, this guy's got a whole bag of tricks. So
Yeah,
music theaters where you started, or did you
musical theater. Yeah,
okay, so that's where your music interest started for performance, or was it a little mixed bag that you were looking to maybe someday do some of this pop kind of music and
yeah.
also
I
open
mean,
back?
you know what? Even before I got into musical theater as a kid, I was, a child of the '90s and had an older sister. So everything that she liked, I followed. And so I was, just loved music and dancing, and so you'd have sort of dreams of, what would I be like as a pop star, and all of that. And then, I found musical theater as a preteen, and really dove into that. And I've always loved pop music, and I have a philosophy that, everything comes in seasons or happens at the right time. So I don't know. I guess just no time like the present, I decided that I was going to try and fulfill this dream of doing pop music. But yeah, my background in terms of my experience and my career has been mostly musical theater. And then the last couple years I've been exploring drag and a bit of stand-up comedy, and combining them all.
And so what's the main drive? Because like I said, as I look, I can see lots of content from you out there. And if you're somebody's clever enough to start putting in variations of your name too, you can find even more content. S- So the last couple years, like a lot of the people that we feature on this podcast are up and coming musicians or people that are kind of putting a renewed effort behind their musical careers since, and I hate to tie everything back to COVID, but that's when we started doing this podcast too. And a lot of podcasts out there did start there. But is that what happened? Is that I like the band from Newfoundland, quote the Raven, referred to it as the big break. So during the big break, is that a time where you built up the motivation to go out there and really start pushing yourself into different avenues?
Absolutely. Yeah. I had just come off a production that I was in early 2020, and was starting to build the confidence to start putting myself out there as just a professional actor, musical theater actor. And then the big brick hit. And that kind of shut down those plans. And so I was stuck in a house alone, with nothing but time and an imagination. And so I started doing some covers and some creative videos, and watching, RuPaul's Drag Race, which was a rabbit hole for me. And was like, okay, this is an avenue of my creativity that I feel needs to be explored, and for some reason I haven't yet. So it was sort of Pandora's box of my own creativity, by necessity, but also just realizing that I'm in my 30s now and I need to start really just living my life to the fullest and doing the things that I want to do, regardless of barriers or setbacks.
And has there been many? Now, I realize that especially where a lot of what you're doing right now is LGBTQ focus, like there's a lot of emphasis on that.
Yeah.
Has there been a lot of barriers, or I see you've got quite the hustle going, like you're out there everywhere. Like I see you're doing stand-up comedy. I see your new single that you have out, and I see that you're doing drag shows as well. So like you are doing it. So
Yeah.
is it been a struggle to get to that point to be able to have a stage to perform on? Is there an audience coming out to these shows? Like, how has that been the last couple of years?
You know what? It all just comes down to motivation.
Mhm.
And like I said, just my drive to make it happen. No time like the present. That's kind of my philosophy. Um, I feel like a lot of people have ideas and are just don't have the confidence to execute them. And I don't know, maybe it's a part delusion, and I I just embrace that. But I took an artist entrepreneurship course last fall through ArtsLink NB, and that really helped me give myself the permission to take myself seriously as a business person and an artist. It's imposter syndrome, everybody has it, and
Mhm.
especially as artists, where there's no clear-cut path to, like, I get this degree and then I get this job and then I get this promotion, and there, it's not a linear path that's set out for you. So a lot of it comes down to making decisions and then just putting one foot in front of the other for yourself. I mean, for me, that's been, as you say, like several paths, and I'm still, figuring out how they connect and where to put my focus. But I'm just in a building stage right now, and I'm just, throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks.
And now for the single itself, like I know when you're doing you have like a one person drag show that you do. And then when you're doing your stand-up comedy, obviously that lends itself to being solo. For the single, you collaborated with Andrew Moore, was it?
Hmm. Yeah,
So
Andrew's an old friend of mine. He studied music and engineering in LA, and then was in touring Asia with various acts as a guitarist. Um, and then came back again because of pandemic, and so having him here has been great to be able to collaborate with. I really respect his work ethic and the records that he's put out. So he helped me arrange and played all the instruments and recorded this single, and he's also helping me with some music production for my upcoming new drag musical show.
oh, that's interesting. I do see a lot of your content's all kind of pulled together on stages of CJ. Is it .ca?
.com,
.com.
stagecj.com. Yeah, that's, I kind of came up with that little, I love puns, so I thought, I changed my Instagram handle a few years ago to Stages of CJ, and I'm kind of sticking with that in terms of I don't know, I guess a production company name. I'm not incorporated yet, but it's kind of just what I'm going by in terms of the umbrella of what I do.
The name fits because like when I went to the website, it was exactly what I expected to see, like at the way it's laid out and everything, and it makes sense with the name just kind of instinctually.
Nice. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I click on a lot of websites, so I don't know how valuable my opinion is, but it's an opinion anyway. I haven't
I'll
been
take
on
it.
quite a few. So what's next then? Like you say, you're gonna work on that show. Are you gonna do more on the music end as far as recorded material that's more audio focused, I guess, or are you focusing more on a stage presence?
No, I certainly have a desire to create more music. It was really kind of surprising to me how much I enjoyed the process of recording and creating a music video, and that really feels fulfilling for me, even more than I expected. So I think my focus is sort of shifting a little bit toward that, splitting that with the things that I already do. I had plans to maybe create a larger theater project, but I think that might be going a bit on the back burner because I'm just loving creating music right now.
And so what is your central base area? Like your New Brunswick base?
So yeah, Moncton.
So do you have plans to expand outside of Moncton with some of your performances then?
Yeah, well, in fact, I've last summer I went on tour with my drag musical Flyin Solo. So I did Halifax, Charlottetown, Sackville, um and Moncton. And this year with my new drag musical, I'm going to Sackville and perhaps Amherst. You know, and I do have a desire to be in a larger city. I spent some time in Toronto this summer. Um, yeah, I think I just need the right project and the right reason. But I'm certainly not running away from where I am right now just because it's been so good to me in terms of having the connections and it being a small city and being able to get my name out there. So I'm using this as a sort of launching pad, but
Mhm.
I definitely want to be in a bigger city because there's more opportunities and more exposure to be had.
And now your experience may be a little different as far as that type end for performance than what I would have for some of the musicians that I have on. But I'm curious for the location base, like with Moncton, and this is maybe something I'm just curious your perspective. It's something I'm probably going to end up asking a lot of people because it's something that's come up outside of the podcast and conversations. As far as being based in Moncton versus being based in Halifax, or like myself, I'm in Pictou County. So like, I mean, I'm 2 hours outside of Halifax, right?
Mhm.
Do you find that Moncton allows itself to give you more options for performance because you can kind of shoot down south to the States, or you can go west and you've got Quebec and Ontario there, or then you've got the full East Coast? Or do you think that just East Coast itself does create some logistical barriers as far as touring and taking a show on the road?
Um, yeah, I don't think, I mean, I don't think it is certainly advantageous location wise. But I mean it's just where I grew up and where I'm comfortable.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean I'll go anywhere.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
matter. But like I said, I'm just, it's just been the last 2, maybe 3 years that I've been creating my own projects, and not just auditioning for things and being in shows wherever I happen to be.
Hmm.
So that will come, traveling, that will come. But I'm certainly thankful for the opportunities that I've been afforded where I am now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that kind of leans itself to like your response leans itself a little bit to what you're saying earlier too, is the people that are out there right now in, especially in the arts community for performances, it really comes down to how much self motivation you have to put the effort into putting yourself out there. I guess that
Yeah,
does
and
seem common.
I try and support the other people in my community who are doing the same thing,
Hmm.
even if our art form isn't the same. I have a talk show called Stages of Art that will be premiering this fall on Rogers TV, and it's all about just bringing in artists of all disciplines and talking about what they do and highlighting that. And also, talking about the industry and challenges there. So I feel that as artists, we, have to support each other if we expect to get support in return.
Absolutely. And where can people watch that then? They have to be Rogers.
So it's going to be on just in Moncton on Rogers TV. Well, it might be across New Brunswick,
Okay.
but then I will be putting the episodes on YouTube after they air on TV. So
Oh,
they
excellent.
can expect to see that, and I'll be, pushing that out all over the internet as I do everything that I make.
Yeah, then hit us up when you're ready to start promoting that too, and we'll share some of that stuff on our own social media, because I'm sure
Nice.
our audiences would overlap quite a bit.
Absolutely.
That's really exciting. So is there anywhere that people can check you out in the next couple months?
In the next couple of months, well, I'm just next week I'm gonna be, next week I'm gonna be in the Moncton Pride Parade. I'll be singing my song Rainbow on the Youth Quest float, joining them. And then I think my next planned performance will be December 1st, when I premiere Jingle Bell of the Ball, my new holiday drag cabaret show at the Empress Theater here in Moncton.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Is that something that you'll be touring as well, or is that just a Moncton show for now?
So I'm taking it to Sackville and perhaps Amherst. I'm not touring the whole Maritimes because December is a really busy month for me. I've got it's gig city for me. So, but I expect to bring this back annually. That's kind of my plan, is to have this be my my annual holiday drag show.
Well, and I don't follow all of it super closely, but I know that here in Pictou County, we have our own group that just started probably the beginning of the calendar year, maybe. And they've been holding some pride events locally. So I noticed, just peeking ahead on the calendar, that they're going to be having a Halloween themed drag show down here with the people that were just here not too long ago doing a show. So I'll have to keep an eye out for CJ's name to pop up on the marquee down there at some point.
Yeah, maybe.
Sounds like we're developing an audience in our community, and it's the same as everything. If people are buying tickets, there'll be more of those shows happening, I'm sure.
Exactly. Get out there and support it, and we'll give you more.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll play out with your single, if that's okay with you.
Great.
And like I said, definitely keep in touch with the show. I'd be interested to see what future projects you have going, and the few that you mentioned sound very exciting as well. So I'd really like to see where they're going. And the Rogers thing too, I'm going to have to find some sneaky way of getting access to that here in Nova Scotia.
I will be sure to send you. I'll put it in a note somewhere.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, thanks again for your time, and we'll play off here with
You're
Rainbow.
as colorful as a rainbow. You're as bright as the moon. Everyone can see your halo. Everybody but you. Go and show them all your rainbow. You feel better when you do. Coming out once the rain goes. 'Cause this world's gonna love you. Seeing you drowning in all your feelings, 'cause nobody knows. Inside you've been screaming, and this world's cold, but you ain't alone. Nah, nah, when it's getting dark, I'ma light you up, my love. You're as colorful as a rainbow. You're as bright as the moon. Everyone can see your halo. Everybody but you. So go and show them all your rainbow. You feel better if you do. Come on out once the rain goes. 'Cause this world's love you. They're gonna 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 love you.
Cause you're beautiful, you intelligent, individual. Yeah, you haven't said anyone can compare. So baby, why do you care what anybody says about ya?
You're as colorful as a rainbow. You're as bright as the moon. Everyone can see your halo. Everybody but you. So go and show them all your rainbow. You feel better if you do. Ooh, come on out once the rain goes. 'Cause this world's gonna love